Hello, I wanted to show you how to work on your first site. And so one thing you should do is make sure that what you do is put in a folder so that everything's contained there and you're able to, and you can see mine has only that, and it's not much, but you're able to have it all as one captive thing. So then work on one HTML page until you have it the way you wish. You want to set it up, and I will attach this so people can look at it, just if you wonder what I'm showing you. Um, Mine's real basic. I just want to use it as an example to show you, so I didn't want too much going on the page. But the thing that is missing in this is, as I showed you, there's only one file. It's called index.html. You also could create it. I used to create it as skeleton.html, so I had a file that never had any content in it really. As you can see here from the page, hopefully you can see from the page, that it just is very basic. This may be too big, but but I would make that file, that HTML page, everything I wanted in it. And so, for example, I'm going to add in here a nav area. And one of the problems is I just suddenly thought, what's my site about? So that for this example, look, I want to show you some pages. So for the nav area, what I do is think of the names I would use. So for one, the index.html, and I'll call that home. Then next, and this is just one way to do this. Whoops, a href equals. Then I'm gonna, because my brain, it's the end of the day and my brain is fried, so I'm gonna come up with colors on this one, which doesn't completely make sense. But you would know what you're creating your site about and what you would want these to reference. But before you even create these files, I would go ahead and make my navigation. And some of you probably have already started on and have made, you've not all of the site, part of the site. So this is just one method, and I sort of mentioned it before, but I thought I'd use it as an example. So I think 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then you're doing, in this case, you're doing 5 pages. Okay. So here's what I would say is the optimal idea is to have, not have, nav, to have a website, to have one page the way you want it and the way you know it. Put the navigation in that, and then if I look at how the web page looks, it was in Chrome, and I refresh it, then I have my nav up here, and I did not do this well in the sense, and some of it isn't working. I can see, but I'm not sure you can. Anyway, this is a great example of what not to do as far as colors, but because I just added it in, I didn't think about that. So to show this to you real quick, I will add that in. Notice that I'm just putting in three of the designated options versus 6, and because this is what I'm, oops, what I would put in normally, so I'd have two E's, double E's, double E's, double E's, thus I can put in EEE. Anytime I have the pair of 2 that make a color name, then I would go ahead and be able to, and if they're the same, I'd be able to use it that way, of just a shortcut. Okay, so now let's look at the page real quick. Okay. And now you can see that I have those up there, but I've obviously left something out doing that because there was another yellow is disappeared. But let's pretend that worked fine. And so then I would go, and what I have now is the files that were all made the same because they were from this. And what I didn't do is put a the quotes there kept that from being seen as a link. But so I've made my page to begin with. Then I put in the navigation before I even made pages. And then what I would do is do file save as blue.html, file save as, whatever my files were, and yours are going to be much more interesting than mine. And I'm doing it with text. I need to do it with. Okay, so that isn't all of them, but that shows you the idea that you start with the skeleton file, make sure it looks good, you got the CSS that you want, all of that, and then you go ahead and save them. And now I actually have, I think I made it blue, yeah. So now I can check to make sure these all work, and one of them isn't going to, and I think it's red because I didn't make that file. But now I have my site. Oops, wrong thing. Is. Now I have my site. So now what do? Then I open, well, I should say now I have the structure of my site. Then you would actually need to open each of these files and put in the content that's specific to that page. So each of these HTML pages should have specific and unique content along with specific and unique titles. So when I'm saying that, I mean this one is the yellow one, so the title should be, it could either be colors indicating the name of the website, since I'm making colors, and then the name of the page, or some way to designate it. That helps for multiple reasons, and you especially don't want one that has no title, because then what you'd see is just the word untitled. You'd see up here untitled. That's not too cool at all. But if you, by naming the yellow one, that it says colors yellow, so that's nice. Okay, so we have our pages all done and ready to go. So then I bring up, and I've shown other examples that have the other FTP program. So this time I'm doing FileZilla just to show that, but it doesn't matter what I use in a way, as long as it works, of course. But so I'm using the host is always where is my web server, so it's web-dev.cs.umt.edu. My username is always my NetID. My password is always my password, and in this case we'd say port 22. And that's because we're doing secure FTP. So when I do that and say quick, and it's already connected, so, but, and it will show you this once it's connected. And then again, the same thing as any client, this side would show you your local site, and another side would show you your remote site. And you always want to, in the remote site, and the side that's showing you the remote site would not show you that until you'd connected. But the side that's showing you the remote site, you would double click on public underscore HTML, and I'm going to get rid of the ones that were in there. So I just click delete. That was a keystroke, the delete key. And now I have nothing in there. So then I want to navigate to where my files are. And again, so on desktop. Oh, this is desktop, sorry. There we go. And look through here for example. And one thing that happens is it's really great to have it in a folder, but you don't want to take the folder across. You take everything that's in the folder and move it across this way in FileZilla, and it should be there. Let's get Chrome back here and let's look to see. So web-dev.cs.umt.edu tilde, and there it is out there. Again, not a fantastic or beautiful example, but just I wanted to show you that whole process. So if you have questions, I'll be there tonight to look at that. This is Thursday, the 27th of February. I will also be around Sunday afternoon at 4 if you're working on it then. So thanks, and let me know if you have questions.